Welcome back, good people of Neuqua Valley. This is a continuation of the last segment, which was an introduction to comprehension fix-up strategies. I'm Mr. Fleming, and I'm here to help you get started on your homework today. We're going to get started together, and then hopefully you can keep the pattern that I start going on when you're on your own there. Okay, on the homework, guys, you can see that your teacher has posted these goals for you. I'm not going to take the time right now to work on those. You will need to be accountable for them. You need to know those words. You need to know some of those concepts. However, I want to address this, that your purpose for reading is not just to find the definitions to 6 words and 3 questions. That's a very good start, and it gives you a focal point. But as you're reading, in addition to learning the content that's stated on a sheet like this, you're also learning to think like a geographer. And that's really where the reading comes in. The reading of the textbook helps you think more like a geographer. Here's a picture of the book. I don't have the online textbook yet, so you'll have to forgive me. I just get a little photo of it here. But I'm going to start reading on page 20. If you need to pause the video right now to go get your book and open up to page 20, go ahead and do that now. As I'm reading, I'd like you to be thinking about which one of these I'm doing. These are those reading fix-up strategies that you saw in the other video. Do you notice me self-monitoring my comprehension, stopping and thinking, slowing down, rereading, rephrasing, doing phrase-by-phrase reading, or reading on to find out more? Let's take a look at the book together, guys. Go ahead and look at the top of page 20, and we're going to jump right in and get a few minutes of your homework done. The title says, Chapter 3, Why Are Different Places Similar? Well, that's actually a darn good question that I don't know the answer to, so I'm going to have to read on to find out. And then you can see there's some headers listed there about scale, space, and connections. And then you've got the learning outcome. Your learning outcome is to understand global and local scale changes in economy and culture. And hopefully we do all that as we're reading here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start the reading, and I'm going to do a little bit of my thinking out loud. Geographers recognize that each place or region on Earth is in some way unique, but they also recognize that human activities are rarely confined to one location. Okay, so every place is unique and human activities happen in different places. Yeah, I think I get that. 3 basic concepts, scale, space, and connections, help geographers explain why similarities among places and regions result from regularities rather than coincidences. Okay, so similarities in places don't happen just by coincidence so much, but because of regularities, it says. And I'm not totally sure what they mean by regularities, so hopefully that gets clarified for us as we go. Next section says scale, global and local. Scale was defined at the beginning of the chapter as the relationship between the portion of Earth being studied and the Earth as a whole. Yeah, I get that. The small part compared to the big part, that's scale. Geographers are especially concerned with contrasts between the local scale and the global scale. Okay, so they're interested in the contrasts, they're interested in the differences between those scales of local and global. Okay. Scale is an increasingly important concept in geography because of globalization, which is a force or process that involves the entire world and results in making something worldwide in scope. Yeah, I get that. I'm good. Globalization means that the scale of the world is shrinking. Not literally in size, of course, but in the ability of a person, an object, or an idea to interact with a person, an object, or an idea in another place. I gotta admit, I got a little lost. That sentence is a bit long, and then it's got like that whole repeated phrase, and somehow my thinking got a little bit turned around while I was reading it. I'm going to read that one again. Globalization means that the scale of the world is shrinking. Okay, got it. I got that phrase. Not literally in size, of course, but in the ability of a person, an object, or an idea to interact with a person, an object, or an idea in another place. Okay, so the world's shrinking, and people and other things can connect better because of that. At the same time, the geographers recognize the increasing importance of the local scale. Right, so even though we're becoming more globalized, we're also becoming more interested in the local scale. In the face of globalization, groups of people are preserving and reviving distinctive cultural characteristics and implementing distinctive economic practices. Okay, so yeah, again, even though globalization is happening, people are trying to preserve their local cultures and economies. Okay, I'm going to stop there. What did you hear me doing? Which one of these am I doing? Self-monitoring comprehension. Stop and think, slow down, reread, rephrase sentences in my own words, phrase by phrase reading, and reading on. Hopefully, you can identify where I was doing some of that. Now, I wasn't doing that just to put on a show about reading for you. I'm doing that because I actually have to do those things. Now, I don't always do them out loud, and I might do them a little bit faster sometimes, but my brain needs to go through that process, especially when I'm reading something where they put several large concepts together in one sentence. I do those things because I'm a good reader. There's not something wrong with me that causes me to need to do those things. I'm not always supposed to get everything super easy on first draft, first time through, though sometimes I do. So I want you to be thinking that same way. That occasionally you're going to have to reread a sentence. You're going to have to make yourself slow down and use all these strategies. All right. The biggest mistake that you could make right now is to say, well, I've got those 6 terms. I'm pretty good. I skimmed this and I don't know, I kind of got it, or I read it really fast and I kind of got it, or I jumped over the parts that I didn't really need. Like, no. Reading includes thinking, and if you're not thinking, you're not reading. And this is how we grow, and this is how we will become more successful in our academic lives. I hope this helps, guys. You guys are on your own to continue, but keep the screen up and use some of these strategies as you're reading your book, and that'll start to pay off in time, and you guys will be very successful. Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.